Good morning, warriors. Hope you guys are doing well today. It's another wonderful, beautiful, hot day in the Midwest. This is May, and I think it's May 12th now, right? May 12th. Yes, I think so. May 12th. I have to go back and look at it, but yes, May 12th. May 12th, 2022. Hope you guys are doing well on your plan, on your purpose, and moving along. I always like to kind of do videos here and there just to kind of catch up. There's a bunch of different topics that I'm behind with, and so I'm going to kind of try to catch up this weekend if I can, and if not, we'll try to do it early next week. But thank you for all the subscriptions, comments, likes, comments, donations, all the great things you guys doing. It is greatly appreciated. I like to just kind of continue doing this. As long as I'm getting across, and some people are getting information that's helpful, as long as we're doing a good service here for people, and hopefully you guys like that. So we're getting close to 400 subscribers, so that's wonderful. I think that's outstanding. Thank you so much. I feel very blessed about that, and we'll continue to kind of strive to get you the best information. I know my technology is not the best, and we're going to try to work on that as time goes on. I just have not had the time to do a lot of that and delve into it and put some money into it. So we will do that as time goes on. Today the question, and once again I have to go back and I apologize to Dex here. Dex sent me a question a while back ago talking about energy. And what he was talking about, I'll wait till the train goes by here. He was talking about energy and how as time goes on, at the beginning, you feel like you have a lot of energy, which you do. You have a lot of energy because it's something that's different. But as time goes on, it seems like there's like ebbs and flows when it comes to the energy. And I think Dex makes a good point, but let's talk about that a little bit, just to kind of go over why that does happen, or at least why we perceive it to happen. So let's kind of think about this a little bit. So I guess what you can do is kind of make an analogy somewhat with anything that has a high level of energy that's been depleted. For example, we'll just say a glass of water, okay? And so you have almost an empty glass of water, and so that glass is not as strong, and maybe this is not a good analogy, but you're not as strong. Or maybe someone who is weightlifting, let's do that, weightlifting, and a person is not as strong because they haven't lifted for a while, okay? Now, they become stronger once they get that boost and start lifting again, and for a short period of time, you'll notice that. People will notice that. If you're doing that, you'll notice a big change. Weight reducing is another. Weight loss is another type of thing noticeable. The body tends to make an equilibrium at some point, but when you first start losing weight, or you're exercising or you're fasting, something like that, you'll see a noticeable difference right away. And within the first few weeks, maybe a month even, you'll see a huge difference. But then as time goes on, your body reacts to that a little bit, and now you become kind of normal in your state. Now, it doesn't mean you still can't lose weight, but what you've got to do is you've got to do different things, and you've got to try to kind of keep moving along with your goal. And the weight can keep reducing, but you're not going to notice that much of a difference like you did the first couple weeks. And that's the key thing when it comes to retention that I've noticed, at least. The first few weeks, and I think I'm at 706 days or something like that, 706, 706, 707, you don't really notice it after a while, except at certain points. Now, why does it happen? Well, first of all, I think when you look at energy can be depleted in a number of different ways. You can deplete it through your physical types of things like we're talking about. You can also do it through your stress level, your psychological type of stress level. those things can also kind of make you lose energy, emotional type of stress, and those type of things affect you. So they come back and affect you, and you may not see as much of a gain as time goes on because of a number of factors like that. Also, perceptionally, you're so used to being so depleted that any kind of big change in that, which you've had over the first few weeks of doing this, makes a huge difference. But then what happens is that after you do this for a while, and especially after 90 days and 120 days, and all of a sudden you're getting to 2 or 3 months of this, now all of a sudden you're starting to accept this as the normal. And now you're seeing that the normal benefits are now, nothing that stands out. And I think so part of it's kind of an illusion in some ways. You are really continuing benefits. I know that because I still see the benefits after 700 and some days. But the thing is that I just don't pay attention to them as much. I notice them a lot more within the first, first year, because it was all exciting and new to me and things like that. Now I become aware that this is kind of the normal way people should be, and that it doesn't hit me as being special. Now, once in a while, if I see a person staring at me, I'll say, okay, that it goes back to the benefits. The benefits are still going because the person's just staring at you, and they're staring at your energy, right? Or they're staring or something, or all of a sudden you're achieving some goal, or you're focusing. But a lot of these benefits are things that you've come to accept. Now, after 700 days, I've come to accept these as kind of being normal, so I don't notice a lot of it. So in effect, Dex, your energy can appear to be going up and down. Does it really go up and down? Nah, maybe. Depends on the stress level you have. If you're stressed out, we're assuming obviously you're not physically releasing, but if you're stressing out, or if you have a lot of emotional types things going on, it could dissipate a little bit of that energy that you have, because I think you have to be kind of mentally in the right frame as well, emotionally, as you do this. And I think doing this will give you that less anxiety, less worrying, all those type of things, which allows your mental state to be actually better as well. So all these things are kind of interwoven, tied into the same type of thing. But I think it's an excellent question, because I think sometimes what happens is people tend to give up, or to say, okay, this is not working anymore, I'm not gaining any more benefits. So, it gives them more of a leeway to go back and be tempted and say, okay, maybe I'll just go back and so I can experience those things again. So it's kind of a weird way to look at this, but I can understand that, because if a person doesn't, in their mind, see a lot of benefits, once again, they may decide to go back and think about temptation again. And I would not, encourage you to do that. I think that when it comes down to, overall picture of things, when it comes down to overall pictures of things, you can see the fact that when your health is good, and I haven't been sick in a long time, I can't remember now, might be years now, I can't remember the last time that I even missed a day of work. It might have been 2006 or something like that. 2000, maybe a little longer, maybe 2009, something like that. But it's been a number of years, and I don't really get sick, and obviously I haven't been tested all the time, and never had any kind of issues with the things that are going around us, right? So that's another thing that it doesn't seem to have any sort of effect on me, and so I can see the benefits of those things happening. So the thing is that when you look at this, you have to kind of think to yourself, okay, what's the long-term goal here? What's the long-term play in the long run? In the long run is you want to be the best person you can become. So I would not necessarily worry about the fact that you think your energy is going up and down. There could be a lot of other reasons for that. Dex, I would say maybe look at your food, maybe look at your stress level, try to exercise, make sure you look at your exercise, see if you're doing that. I would even do some fasting. And if you don't do that, I'm not sure if you do that or not, but if you don't do that, I would do some fasting as well. And I would try to kind of maximize the benefits of your retention, because there are multiple benefits you can kind of continue to gain, and I see them still all the time. You know, I still get up and take a cold shower. I'm focusing on my Fountain of Youth exercises. I've been doing this since 1998. The only difference over the last 700 days, I've added that last rite, the last one, and we'll talk about this. I apologize. I'm supposed to be getting one of those out about the Fountain of Youth and actually going through the exercises. I just haven't had that kind of time, so I'll put one together over the weekend, hopefully, and try to do that for you guys. But the Fountain of Youth I've been doing since 1998, and it's just amazing to me. It builds a lot of strength and muscles and those type of things, but I wasn't getting the maximum out of it because I didn't do the retention. And that was the sixth exercise they talk about, trying to retain and not and that's the most power that you have. And you talk about this all the time. There's lots of videos talking about this, of course, and the idea that you're using that energy as your lifeblood, and trying to keep that is allowing you to build all that, great power that you have to achieve things in this world. So that power is there. You can just feel day by day. So the longer you're on retention, the stronger you feel. Now, the benefits come from that. Really, that depends on your other lifestyle type changes, right? If you're drinking, if you're doing all this other kind of stuff, which I'm sure you're not, but if you were doing that, would affect you in a different way. But the idea is that because of that superpower, at least in my case, it motivated me to take other changes in my life. That's why we talk about the discipline. The discipline allowed me to have discipline now when it comes to eating. There was a good video, a couple of videos talking about food, and one of the things that's important is to kind of eat one meal a day and not have too many things at that meal. Or even if you're going to snack with one thing, don't overeat. My biggest problem is the fact that I'll fast, and I still then, once I start eating, and it only happens when I start eating, all of a sudden now I feel like I'm eating more. And I get too full, and that's why I've gained a few pounds that I shouldn't have had. And a lot of that has to go back and change. So I'm aware of it. It's just a matter that I have to be careful when I do get back from fasting to not really have as much food as possible, and just have one meal and do it that way. So, but those are all little techniques along with the retention plan you're on to make life, more, give yourself more excellence in life. So I think that when you look at the whole picture, the whole idea really is that you want to go ahead and focus on the positive things that you can do to become an excellent person. All right, guys, so that's enough of this one for today. Hope you guys are doing well, and we'll see you guys on the next one as we get to it as well. All right, guys, take care. Battle on.